can't wait to get out there. I'm doing a meeting tomorrow night here in Phoenix. So, yeah, man, I'm thrilled, Andrew. I'm excited you're on board. I'm excited Dr. Becky's on board, and we just get to go make a difference. So, anyway,
yeah.
So I will turn it back over to you, and I'm excited to hear from Dr. Becky tonight.
Awesome, brother. Thank you so much. You're CBD Superman today.
Yeah. Boom.
Love it. Love it. Heck yeah, bro. Well, guys, let's go ahead and get this all set up and go. There we go. Cool. So, guys, pretty much thank you so much for being on the call tonight, the webinar for Hempire. We're very excited for having you on with us with the CBD movement, especially what's going on. I mean, every day, everyone's talking about it, whether you're at your friend's house, your own house, relative's house, hey, even at the barbershop or salon, everyone's talking about it. Even the news people are talking about it. And that's what's great about it is that we have a product here that I take every day. It's the AM, and then we have what's called the midday. There you go, Dr. Becky. Yeah, that's right. And PM. I think that's every single day as well. And so this product is truly incredible, and that's where Dr. Becky comes in. Is I'm gonna ask her a few questions, and let me go ahead and pop this up for her real quick. All right, there we go. And feel free to ask any questions you have too. I'll be glad to try to answer them tonight if we have some time for Dr. Becky. Of course, I tell everyone, look, we can't cure, treat, diagnose, but I tell you what, our body's a miracle. And let's see here. Cool. Dr. Becky, explain to me what the difference is, and I'll post this right now. What's the difference between medical marijuana and hemp?
Okay. Well, and what's interesting is I didn't understand the difference until I went to my first Kannaway meeting in February. And the information provided by Dr. Stuart Titus, who is the president and CEO of our parent company, Medical Marijuana Inc., he provided me so much knowledge and research-based information that made me understand the difference, because I really didn't understand the difference. So when we talk about hemp versus marijuana, they're two distinctly different plants. Hemp is what we're dealing with Kannaway, okay? Hemp is a plant that grows very tall. It can be up to 10 to 20 feet tall. Very fibrous, very dense plant that's very high in CBD. And CBD is a non-psychoactive component that has such great medicinal purposes. And it's been used for centuries for that. And actually it was used in the US up until about 1937, when the government made some statements that took it out of the realm of, you know, what we should still be using today. And now we're making a resurgence with it. So when you look at the hemp plant and it's strong in CBD, the non-psychoactive part of the plant, okay, there you go. There's, you know, when you talk about the CBD and what it does medicinally, it's not going to get you high, okay? Marijuana is a plant that's very short, very bushy, and it has high THC, which is the psychoactive component. So let's go back to hemp. Hemp has a lot of properties that allow it to have industrial applications. So for example, you know, many years ago when hemp was very popular here in the US, it was used for textiles, it was used for paper, clothing. Henry Ford built a car out of hemp and ran on petroleum oil that was from hemp. And if you've never seen his video where he takes a sledgehammer to his car and tries to put a dent in it, hemp is so strong that you can't even put a dent in it. And we're also seeing applications with hempcrete, which is a concrete made out of hemp. And it's stronger than concrete. And when you use it as a building material, because of its negative carbon impact, it's actually giving back to the environment. And so when you look at the history with hemp and what it's used for, there's lots of industrial purposes. When you look at marijuana and its high concentration of THC, and it's the psychoactive compound, there's really no industrial applications for that. So just know Kannaway is in the hemp and CBD industry. We're not in the THC industry. THC has a lot of regulations, federal regulations, state regulations. A lot of you are very well aware of that. Whereas with Kannaway and our hemp products that are so high in CBD, we are allowed to deliver to all 50 states, and we can cross state lines. So there's an important difference when you look at these two different plants. The other thing with hemp is that we're seeing like not just the CBD, but there's other nutrients within hemp. There's phytonutrients, there's amino acids, there's, you know, all these other things that fuel our body to create the homeostasis. So we are seeing a revolution with this because we're bringing it back to the forefront, and Kannaway is the leader right now. There is no question that, like Jeff Lessard has told me, we are going to be the Google of the hemp industry. So just understand like what our space is, and we are legal, and we are helping people on a level that is more than I've ever seen with any other company that I've looked at. And when I was first introduced to Kannaway back in February, I had actually looked at 14 different companies that were in the nutrition-based network marketing arena, and nothing fit with me. Nothing fit. Like the products were Me Too products. I wasn't really that impressed with the structure of the company or the executive team. But when I saw Dr. Stuart Titus present, and I saw the whole executive team present, and I learned the research behind hemp, I became such a strong believer that minute. And I'll never forget, I took 17 pages of notes that day because I'd never even understood the arena of hemp. And there's a little bit of an educational process when you talk to people, because I met with one of my favorite doctors today, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I'm with a company that's dealing in hemp and CBD." And he's like, "I have no idea what you're talking about." So we had a really nice discussion, and he was so impressed about everything that I shared with him. So just understand, there's a lot of people who don't understand the difference, but when you do understand it, then you have the ability to go out and educate people, and you don't have to know everything, just give them like little tidbits about it. So it's impressive.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Becky, on that part. And you mentioned the hempcrete. I brought up the picture right there.
That's great.
It's so cool because it's I actually got to touch it to the hempcrete they had at the office, corporate office, and you know, just imagine a building, and if you're ever downtown San Diego, you're able to see the Santa Fe train station is built out of hemp.
I did not know that. That's amazing.
Yeah, so it's so cool about that. And you're, I know Jeff's talked about it. You talked about it before, and I finally learned how to say it right, because you guys always say the ECS in our body. It's tell me if I say it right or wrong, but endogenous cannabinoid system.
Endocannabinoid system.
See, endo. I knew it was close.
And it's a really interesting system that was discovered by researchers in the 1980s. And it's hard to believe it was not that long ago that they discovered this system in our body. We have a lot of different systems in our body. We have vascular systems, we've got lymphatic systems, but the endocannabinoid system is something that's fueled with what Kannaway has to offer with CBD. And so when you look at the system, it's a self-regulatory system, meaning that it creates homeostasis and balance within our body. It helps our immune system, our hormones, it helps our intestinal tract, our brain chemistry. And there are different receptors. So receptors mean that they're sitting there waiting to be nourished by CBD. And there's CB1 receptors or CB2 receptors. CB1 is mainly in the brain, in the CNS, okay, the central nervous system, and CB2 mainly immune system, and then there's other receptors within our vital organs, like our liver, our adrenal glands, our thyroid, our pulmonary system, our cardiovascular system. And so when you fuel this with CBD, then it creates this balance. So we're going to talk a little bit about the research behind, you know, our products and what CBD is doing. But when you're fueling CB1, you're helping to regulate, you know, brain chemistry and to balance the synapses in your brain. And synapses are these little communication areas in the brain, and they need to communicate. And if they're not communicating, then people experience different things like brain fog. They're just not focused. They're not sleeping well. They don't have energy. And that's a problem for a lot of people. When you're fueling CB2 receptors, you're supporting the immune system, other vital organs that create this homeostasis so that the body becomes the miracle. We do have a product that people consider miraculous, but I want everyone to recognize that the body is the miracle. But a lot of our bodies are not miraculous anymore because we are deficient in nutrients, including CBD, but we're also very toxic. And I'll kind of get into that, as we go further with this discussion. But this system is very key, and researchers are also recognizing that if you are deficient in CBD, okay, and we actually make endogenous cannabinoids, so we do make those. However, we have enzymes in our body that break them down pretty quickly, and as we age, we don't have enough. So as you become deficient in CBD and your system is suffering, that can lead to inflammatory conditions, irritable bowel conditions. People are reporting neurologic conditions that are escalating, like migraines. So the whole key here is to understand that we are fueling this system to create that balance, and that's so important for the body to become the miracle again.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I know you said that there's been research done on the hemp and CBD. What type of research has been done on that part?
So much research. And let's start with the neurologic areas. All of you are probably recognizing that for children and adults that have epilepsy, they're responding so well to CBD. And the reason is because we're fueling those CB1 receptors, and we're helping the electronic communication in the brain, take place. But there's great research on PTSD, Alzheimer's, really great research on Alzheimer's. And I actually have a video on my YouTube channel that people can look at that I talk about Alzheimer's specifically. Anxiety and depression is really responding to CBD. And I'll give an example, because today when I went to see my doctor, and then I had to run errands, and it was just like a crazy day, and I was so stressed out, and I took some of the AM like throughout the day, our AM product, and it just chilled me out. It just made me go, you know what, I'm not as stressed as I used to be. So we're seeing great results in that realm. But also this slide brings up a really good issue. There's something called chronic traumatic encephalopathy, traumatic brain injury, which we've seen through the movie that talks about it, concussion. And what happens is, when we're not protecting our brains and people are getting hit in the head all the time, they suffer a lot of neurologic issues. Well, there's a study out of UCLA where they took a group of people that had traumatic brain injury from car accidents. And the people that were on cannabinoids had an 80% improvement in survival rate based on the other ones that did not. So now researchers are saying, we really feel that if you are an athlete or somebody that's prone to traumatic brain injury, to take these products, it creates kind of like a second helmet over the brain to protect it. So you think about, the brain having that helmet, and then you have that secondary helmet that the football team gave you. That's why we're seeing such great results with that in that realm. So athletes are seeing great results, and they're recommended now for even children that are in athletics.
Oh, see, that's really awesome. And is it safe, or what should I say? I should say this. What ages are recommended to get CBD, and what's your thoughts on it?
Well, here's my thoughts. We have a pure product, an absolute pure product. So to me, all age groups are, appropriate for this product. And I ran across a company the other day that said, don't take this CBD product if you're, under the age of 18. You know what that told me? They had synthetics in their product. We are completely pure. And we actually have a product that's so pure, there's absolutely no THC. So our other products have less than 0.3% THC, which is not a problem. It's not going to get you high. It's not going to hurt you. But we actually have a pure product, and it's being used in very, very young children in Brazil, in Puerto Rico, in Paraguay that have refractory seizures. Completely safe, and the results have been dramatic. These are kids that seized several hundred times a day that don't even have seizures. So to me, all age groups are appropriate, and that's beautiful. And I don't know what that is.
I put that up there because I was thinking about it, and you said a few things. Is patients on cannabinoids.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what? No worries. There I am. On the patients you said it helps tremendous. So many people, like Brian's little girl, where she's having 300 to 400 seizures a day, and she had a product that, if you're able to see, it's the gold, has about 3,500 milligrams,
mm-hmm.
and she was in a feeding tube. Doctor said, look, she needs to do this feeding tube because she's not getting the nutrients, she's not getting the vitamins she's terminally ill. We're gonna have to up her medication, and we don't know what the results are. Of course, the medication is gonna be a lot of side effects, and we all know side effects: kidney, liver, and so on, even death. And so Brian said, I don't want to do that to my daughter, and let's find another way. They found another way. They found our company, and of course he ordered it right away. He said, I want the best of the best, and give me the gold. And so they shipped it over to him, and when he received the package, little Sadie was having a seizure. And so he said, well, here's a test. Opened it up. It looks like a syringe. It's not. You can put it in the mouth, put it in a feeding tube, and within 10 minutes, he said the seizure stopped. And that's incredible. That's truly incredible.
And such
and
a
so
product. Like, when I look at all the different medications that people are on for whether it's like a neurologic disease, pain, inflammation, cardiovascular disease, pulmonary disease, immune system issues, fibromyalgia, like the list goes on and on. When I look at the medications that these people are given and the side effects are so severe, and right now in North America, the number 3 cause of death is side effects from pharmaceuticals. There's never been a reported death from hemp and CBD. There's never been a reported major side effect from it. I mean, so, the research is so substantial in terms of the safety of the product and the efficacy of the product. The gold is one of my favorites because it really does deliver results, because it's one of the highest amounts of CBD that we have in Kannaway. So feel very comfortable recommending this to everyone that you care about that's dealing with health issues, but also healthy people, because you want to protect yourself against toxicity. And I'll make a segue here. There's a patent on CBD, and basically the patent says it's approved as an antioxidant and a neuroprotectant. So we know about the neuroprotectant part of it. We just talked about that. But as an antioxidant, that's also very important to understand, because we breathe and eat and drink toxins every day. And I don't care who you are and where you live, and if you eat organic, you wear a mask every day, you're exposed to toxins. And what they do is they come into your body and they start to disrupt your cells. They start to disrupt the mitochondria, and they start to disrupt your vital organs and your DNA. Antioxidants are preventing that, because what happens is when you bring in toxins, it causes oxidation, which is like taking your body and rusting it from the inside. It's like cutting open an apple and an apple turns brown. That's oxidation. When you have metal that you see that has rust, that's oxidation. Well, oxidation from toxicity can happen to our internal bodies. So we are providing an antioxidant to combat that. And what happens is, again, it just brings your body into balance. So if you're healthy, you still want to do this to help prevention of future disease and illness. If you are having health challenges, then you want to address those, because the research is also in major areas of pain and inflammation. The people that are dealing, and we're not making claims, I'm just saying that the research is there going on with arthritic conditions like osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis and psoriatic arthritis and traumatic arthritis, and then inflammatory conditions that are linked to the bowel, like inflammatory bowel disease, ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, and the list just goes on and on and on. So like the research is there from that aspect, but also in areas of MS and certain muscular disorders, areas of cardiovascular disease, because cardiovascular disease is linked to a lot of inflammation in the body, pulmonary disease as well. People who have chronic pulmonary disease linked to inflammation, nephrology diseases, meaning the kidney. So there's so much going on with the research, and I just really recommend to all of you on the line, if you have like a half an hour a day or an hour a day, just start Googling the benefits and the research behind what's going on with CBD and supporting the body's ability to heal and to get back into that homeostasis. And that's what's so important here.
So true. It's like you says, like whether you're healthy or ill, your body needs it. And I always make it in layman's terms for me. I say, look, it's like driving a car. You got gas, you're full, but months and years that go by, you never put oil. Shoot, you never change oil. So what happens? Yeah, your car will break down. So can your body get used to CBD? CBD? Well, I don't think it could get used to CBD because it always needs it. Like you're saying, it always needs a 50 milligrams. I take probably about good 100 to 120 milligrams a day, just because of the fact that I like what it does to my body. I feel good. I feel energy. Hey, I sleep good, really good. And
Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, you know, I consider myself very healthy because I've done nutritional products all of my adult life, and, you know, and I felt really good. But when I went up to that meeting in Phoenix where you were there and you shared the energy chews with me and you shared the AM product with me, and I'm very, very, very sensitive to everything. Um, like nutritionals, if I ever did like an over-the-counter medication or, you know, prescription, which rarely happens in my world, I'm extremely sensitive. So I just did small amounts. And what I noticed with the AM formula is that I was clear in a way that wasn't jumpy. I can't do caffeine at all. Like I can't do coffee because my head feels like it's going to fly off. And I can do organic teas, which is fine. But when I do the AM, I have this great focus and clarity during the day. Like it seems like your senses open up. I feel like I'm visualizing better. I can taste better. I can hear better. Like your whole senses liven up. And what I do with the AM, some people just take like a bunch of drops under the tongue in the morning. I do 2 drops in the morning and like a little bit later in the day, a little bit later in the day, a little bit later in the day. And it just keeps me very, very even. And then with the PM product, because, you know, being a doctor, as long as I was on call all the time and tied to my pager and never slept and always had an ear to the pager, to this day, you know, prior to taking the PM product, I would wake up in an instant and, like, you know, almost having an anxiety attack, you know, like who's calling me to the emergency room. Since I've done the PM, I sleep throughout the night. And when I wake up in the morning, I feel rejuvenated. And I do the AM just because I want to keep that focus. And it just keeps me going, keeps me, you know, focused on my business, focused on my family, you know, getting so many things done, multitasking. And then doing the premium capsules during the day, it just keeps that balance and that flow going. And let me just mention real quick to the audience, when you do the AM formula and the PM formula, it's also in conjunction with B-bong. So it's B-I-B-O-N-G. So it's a formulation of nutrients that was handed down from the Korean royalty. And this is a very important formulation because it has adaptogens, it has Indian and Chinese herbs within it. And they synergistically balance the body to create qi. Okay, our qi is our flow of energy. It supports oxygen. It like absolutely helps our blood flow. When we talk about qi that goes through the meridians, that truly supports your entire body, because when you have better blood flow and better energy flow and better oxygen delivery, that helps even more with pushing impurities out of the body and helping the body create that balance and helping that body, you know, rev up the liver, and it potentiates the CBD effects. So when you have the B-bong and the CBD, they work synergistically together. And when that happens and you support the liver, a lot of people are dealing with something called metabolic syndrome. This is a syndrome that's become epidemic. And this is for people that are dealing with a syndrome where they usually carry some excess weight within their intra-abdominal area. And this is sometimes called visceral fat, intra-abdominal fat. And it's known clinically. There is no discussion that this is not true. When they look at the visceral fat and they do analysis on it, they see toxins sitting in there. And when those toxins are sitting in there, you are potentially prone to type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease, peripheral vascular disease, sometimes hypertension, cholesterol issues, triglyceride issues. So when you do the CBD and the B-bong together and you potentiate both of them, your body is now allowed to rev up that liver, the number one detoxifying organ of your body, to push out impurities. But when that happens, your thyroid livens up, then your adrenal glands kick in, your metabolic rate kicks in. Your body has the potential to heal from all of those disease states that I mentioned. So for those of you dealing with that and you want to bring your doctor, your healthcare professional on board when you start these products, I think that's a great idea, because the more healthcare professionals recognize that we have something that potentially could reverse metabolic syndrome, we are going to help so many people with their quality of life. And when I talked to my good friend, my doctor today, and he didn't know anything, and I told him all about this, he's like, I can't even believe I don't even know about this. And I said, well, I didn't know until February. So there's so many people we can go out there and help. And if you want to bring your healthcare professional on board to work with you as you go through this journey and they can document it, just think about how many other people will be affected. You know, if you get a couple good healthcare professionals on board and they understand this and they get it, then they're going to help so many people change their lives and get them off the drugs, guys. When I retired for medicine. I'm almost like 12 years into retirement, and I hated the pharmaceutical industry and what it was doing and all the side effects. I would never go back. I'm unemployable in that realm. I just, I'm such a big proponent of taking a product like this and helping the world, whoever I can impact every single day, whoever I can talk to, whoever I can love and support. And, all the people I've introduced to Kannaway that have gravitated toward this whole message, this revolution, they're doing the same thing. They're duplicating what I'm talking to you about. And that's all about what this business is in terms of duplication. And when you do that, the return is beautiful from a financial standpoint, and it gives you freedom and quality of life on top of the health aspects.
So true. So true. Thank you so much. And one thing I got to say real quick is, let's see if I can put this on here. There you go.
Hi.
Is the salve.
I love the salve.
My gosh, I love the salve. And even these little things right here are amazing. Talk about the salve real quick, Dr. Becky, before we go.
Yeah, for my auto ship, I just ordered 30 little travel size salves that you just showed. And the reason being is because when I sample them to people, the results have been almost instantaneous and amazing. And I just saw my neighbor. I talk about my neighbor all the time because Jay is 85 years young. And he's just cruising up and down the road without his cane. He comes over. I had groceries in my car today. And he was like waiting outside because I said, I'm coming home with groceries. He's like, I'll help you unload them. I'm like, okay, I'm 52, you're 85. I probably can handle my own groceries. He's like, no. He's like waiting right there. He took all my groceries out, brought them into the house. He just hung out here. We talked. And the other day he was looking at a condo that he wants to buy, and it had all these steps. It was on the 3rd floor. He walked up all the steps without a cane. And I'm like, that's unbelievable to me. And all he does is puts the salve on his knees twice a day. The other thing with a friend of mine, she has some pretty significant skin issues. I won't name the disorder, but they're pretty prominent. And I gave her the salve, and over the past 3 days, she's seeing improvement. And she's been on some heavy-duty drugs for this skin disorder. So she's amazed. So the salve is great to sample. The salve is just topical CBD. It's nourishing the skin. But, the skin is our largest organ of the body. And to nourish it like this, you're going to see some great results. So if you want to really build this and you want to get out there and help people, the salve is the #1 thing that I sample because it works.
So true. We're so blessed to have you, Dr. Becky. Thank you so much. Guys, we're going to end the call pretty quickly, but I just have to say, man, this is the biggest CBD movement ever. This is not some opportunity. This is not some ground floor or I just have to say this is a huge, huge movement. Whether it's your friends, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sisters, your loved one, your aunt, your uncles. I mean, everyone needs CBD, and everyone's talking about it.
Yes.
So it's easy to talk. Isn't it easy to talk about?
Yes, it's very easy to talk about because people are getting more educated and people are excited about it. And the other thing for everyone that's on the line right now, you guys are all founding brand ambassadors. We're like I talked to my good friend Jacqueline Riddell the other day, and she's like, when she goes up and talks to people, she's like, I'm part of the founding members of this company, and we really are. And that's impressive because there's a lot of times when people get into companies and there's no good new opportunity with an old company. We have a new company. We're making headlines. We are going forward. We're doing it right. Our hemp is sourced out of Northern Europe. It comes into this country. It's non-GMO. It's triple tested for purity. There's a lot of companies that I'm introduced to every day. In fact, I get calls pretty much once a day. Hey, would you look at my CBD? And I look at them like, are you triple tested? Are you non-GMO? Do you have any synthetics? Do you know you're pure? Do you actually have a product that doesn't have THC in it? And I don't get any positive answers back. So we are a leader in the industry because of what we're doing and what the executive team is doing to position ourselves for growth and position ourselves that we have a future and a legacy and to take this for generations to come. And so you have to realize that because not too many companies come around that are like this. Most companies fail within the first 5 years. This company is going to be around for many, many decades. Trust me.
Oh yeah, so true. And so it's amazing to be on the CBD journey. And guys, whoever you invited you to this call webinar, get with that person, especially. And if you like more questions, you want to do a three-way with Dr. Becky, do a three-way call with myself, or a three-way call with Jeff, give us a call. And other than that, guys, you have a blessed day. And again, thank you so much, Dr. Becky.
Anytime. Love everybody.
Take care, guys.
Okay, have a great evening. Take
Bye-bye.